Each question for this fireside chat was chosen keeping in mind the interests of youth that want to understand the scope, the opportunities, and growth in the technology sector in India. It gives me tremendous contentment to welcome our esteemed speakers who've done great work in their respective fields. I'd like to introduce Mr. Anil Kumar Singh. He is the Vice President, Head of Talent Acquisition of Capgemini India. He has more than 20 years of experience in the IT industry with more than 18 years in talent acquisition, resourcing, and central resource management. In his current role, he is responsible for talent attraction and employer branding, AI sourcing and screening, virtual and gamified hiring, candidate experience, diversity hiring, ethics and compliance, market intelligence, and talent insights, creating a robust structure to support hiring for strategic accounts and new age technologies, and to bring in speed, scale, and agility in the recruitment lifecycle. Welcome, Mr. Singh. We really look forward to your active participation today.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you, everyone.
Next on our list of esteemed panelists, we also have Ms. Dipti Bukare. She manages talent acquisition at NAC Systems. Dipti has 15 years of experience in the IT industry and has conducted numerous campus interviews over years. So Dipti, we assume that in today's discussion, you will be able to share your insights based on your experience working on ground with the kind of audience we have attending this session with us, and can represent their views as well to a certain level. We are so glad to have you here with us, Dipti.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. Thanks.
With great pleasure, I would also like to introduce the Head of Placements from EduBridge, Mr. Moses Borgaonkar, an MBA in Human Resources and a certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. Moses is an experienced business development professional with a demonstrated history of working in the human resources industry for more than 12 years. He is skilled in training and learning, sales, executive research, permanent recruitment, RPO, customer relationship management, technical recruiting, and screening. Welcome on board, Moses. Thank you for joining us today. Unfortunately, Ms. Preeti Chopra from EXL and Mr. Ashish Pishav from ZS Associates, who was supposed to join us today, couldn't join us due to some unavoidable exigent emergencies. So they've asked us to apologize to everybody. Lastly, I would like to welcome all the participants who've taken the time out to be here today, and I ensure this session will be the most profitable and fruitful session for everyone. I request all the participants to use the Q&A and chat options available at the bottom of your screen to post your question, and we will try to address them during the fireside chat. So, Mr. Anil, Dipti, I'll just tell you what the format of this fire chat discussion is going to be. We've divided this discussion into 3 or 4 key parts where I will be raising a question, and I'll, go to you one by one, and you can, share your thoughts on that subject. And once everyone has shared, you yourself, Moses, when you share your thoughts on that, we will have some sort of a pattern coming up, and that is something that our audience will be looking for.
Sure.
So I'd like to get started here. To start with, one of the questions that we really get asked often, by our learners. We've been training, over 2 million youth we would have trained in the last several years, and we keep getting asked these questions. One thing that everyone wants to know is, what are the current hiring trends in technology in India? So what are some of the key job roles, you feel have really taken off? Or you can also talk about this, pre-COVID, post-COVID, whatever angle you sort of want to bring to it, you're welcome to do that. So I'd request Mr. Anil to go first with this, and then we can move on to Dipti, and then we can move on to Moses. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So quick insights into the question. So I would say, see, the volume of fresher hiring has doubled for most organizations. If I look at the way 2021 was, it's doubled for most of the organization. If you look at the demand, the supply, I would say, still needs to pick up. We need to get more supply. And there continues to be a gap between what the organizations are needing from the campus or from the fresher talent pool versus what we have. So there is a great opportunity for organization like EduBridge to get more talent supply into the industry. The second point is, if you look at the magnitude of hiring, from a premium category has tripled this year, at least for the way we see it at Capgemini. And the hiring is based more on competencies, and it is not just limited to a few set of colleges. So that's another change that we are seeing. Uh, if you look at why there is an unprecedented demand of freshers or early graduates, I would say three things. There has been an increase in digitalization across the globe. I think that's one big factor. uh, Tremendous business growth. There is a tremendous business growth, and that's leading to why there's so much of demand. And third important aspect is we also see a high churn of uh, experienced talent. The great resignation that everybody is talking about, right? So there is high churn, and that is leading for most organization to increase their fresher intake, because to bring in more stability from their project standpoint. So these are my first comment. Of course, I can talk about the skills and all that. Maybe let the other panel cover her views, and then maybe I can talk about the kind of skills and all that
Yeah.
we're seeing at Capgemini.
Yes. Over to you, Dipti. Dipti, we are unable to hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what Mr. Anil has said. Yes, the demand is definitely high, and the numbers what we used to hire from campus, from entry level students, pre-COVID and post-COVID, the numbers have definitely gone 3x. And the same ways for students also to have this opportunity to start a career into IT, whether it is consulting, whether it is functional side, technical side, or a domain side. Now, this e-commerce industry, I'll tell you, which I have done the most of the hiring for entry level. Pre-COVID, there was an organization who were focusing on e-commerce, having their presence virtually. But then right now, after the situation, every organization, even if that's a small product or a biggest services, everything is there on IT related. That's how we require IT having store on e-commerce for sales, for services, marketing. Everything is there in e-commerce. And how exactly that is going to be happen? Only because of IT we can able to make that place. So that there is lots of opportunity for entry level students. The kind of hiring what we used to do previously, the kind of hiring we are doing right now. Now you interviews, everything you have online. People are working from home, so happening the interviews in campus, having the interviews virtual, and having that coordination, of course that is required. But then I can definitely say everywhere IT resources, the students those are learning IT and who wants to make the career into IT, they definitely have lots scope here in the market. Because whenever there was an people used to think IT means they have to do lots of codings. No, but then there are lots of other opportunities are available in the market, which is the career with IT career without programming skills. So like cyber securities, you must have heard that cyber crime, you must have seen the ads that has reached up to 600%, and that is nothing. But then IT, a cyber security can help that. So this is my views, and I can definitely say there is a vast scope for all the students who would like to make a career into IT career.
Sure. Before we move on to Moses, Mr. Anil, could you just uh, talk about maybe 2 or 3 job roles, where you feel that there is a massive demand? Because we're also trying to sort of curate a list of some top tech jobs that have a lot of vacancies today.
So if I have to just put that in terms of the skills, there is a high requirement for full stack programmers. Okay. And the freshers who are skilled in digital, cyber security, data, insights and data, I would say cloud skills, infra skills are also on the rise after the pandemic has hit us. ERP and legacy skills, they continue to be in the need. So they are not going away anywhere. And Capgemini is, also a market leader in engineering services. So we see high demand for skills like PLM, embedded, VLSI, biomedical, 5G, AutoSAR, smart mobility. So across. So basically, at Capgemini, and this is my message to all the fresher community, there is demand for every skill. So it's about what the candidate can learn and what candidate can bring in. But there is a great opportunity.
Superb. Thank you. Moses, your thoughts on this?
Thanks. I think a lot of that was covered by Anil and Dipti themselves. So, it's always good going in later when you get to know the insights are all in line. And most of us are on the same page. Just to add on to a couple of things that have been said. So basically, everything is changing every day. The IT business is changing every day. So there is nothing like a focus today may not be a focus tomorrow, because things are just changing randomly at every given point in time, right? So across 55% of the tech companies today are increasing their headcounts, right? They're just going all out, trying to get as many people on board. There may not be as many people available in tech, hence a lot of people looking at non-tech people to come into tech. There's a lot of focus on that as well, right? A lot of companies are trying their level best to hold on to their current talent, because the churning has increased to another level where people who have been extremely loyal have also started thinking of moving out. So a lot of companies have spent a lot of money on holding on to their existing talent so that they don't lose them to competition. So the industry trends earlier, where people used to stick to the top brands and wanting to make a career for 5 years, 10 years in a leading company, are okay to go to a company three notches below for a better salary, right? So that's what's the change that is coming into this entire business. Also, the biggest change is freelance workers, right? We have so many people who are now not wanting to be employed full time, but they're okay with doing a freelance job, right? So this is actually a growing trend with the current workforce. Even a lot of freshers want to get into just freelance job. They don't want to be in bondage with, working for a 9-hour job. They're okay doing it just as a consultant. There are jobs like cybersecurity, cloud. Obviously, the more you move away from work, the more cybersecurity will go up. So there's going to be a lot of focus and emphasis on cybersecurity going forward. Cloud, because obviously we cannot have a lot of servers set up in everybody's house. So you're going to have cloud set up everywhere as much as we can kind of go on with it. And what started happening is, over the last couple of months or a couple of years, I will say, I don't think hiring went slow anywhere. It's just that people stopped. They had a think and thought over, are they hiring the right people or not? And then they kind of moved on ahead. So things have picked up to the next level. They're hiring. There are 90 million people, or I would say 90 lakh graduates who clear every year on year. So we have the workforce available. It's just that the last 2 years have so many people accumulated now that we don't know who to go for, right? Whether to go for tier 1, whether to go for tier 2. A lot of companies are now looking at tier 3, tier 4 learners, because they know that tier 1 comes with, there's an issue with tier 1 where they last for 6 months and then they think, "Arey yaar, abhi koi dusra company job de dega, let's move there," right? So a lot of companies are looking at people who come from non-tech, where we train them so that they last longer, to increase that tenure and a little bit of stability with our company. So industry insights, hiring trends are changing every day. I don't think any one of us will be able to give a concrete answer to this. I mean, if you ask this question probably next month with another variant coming in, we will have 3 other new reasons coming out of it. So I think rest in line with what Anil and Dipti has said.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I think that was wonderful. So what I'll do for my audience is, I'll just try to sort of put together what all of you have said, before we move on to the next phase, when we'll be talking a lot more about the skills that, that recruiters are looking for tech jobs. So I think all of you sort of agreed and said that the magnitude of hiring has literally tripled this year. You know, campus hiring numbers have gone X to 3X post COVID. This has primarily happened because COVID has obviously accelerated digitization, which has led to business growth, and which has led to sort of unprecedented numbers in terms of hiring. There's also been like a high churn, and hence a lot more freshers are being recruited. So for our audience, I think that's fabulous news, right? So recruitment actually, like Moses also just said, it never really stopped. It's people, recruiters, maybe have just taken like a step back and to rethink whether they're recruiting the right people or not. But there are enough and more jobs available for you out there. So that's good news for our audience. In terms of job roles, some of the trending job roles are cybersecurity, full stack programming, digital data and insights like analytics, business intelligence, big data, those kind of jobs, AI, ML, cloud, infra skills. There's ERP and legacy skills. We also have a demand for engineering skills, embedded, VLSI, and so on. So there are several job roles that we can go after in terms of technology. Another thing that was highlighted is that IT business is changing really fast, and literally change is the only constant. So a couple of trends that Moses pointed out, that there are freelancing options available which didn't probably exist earlier on. People are willing to switch jobs for more salary, but smaller, 2-3 notches down in terms of roles. So there is a lot of change in the way people are looking at things. I think that actually leads us to our second phase, right? The change is constant. So which means, if you have to stay ahead of the curve and you have to be, able to grab those tech jobs, you have to constantly upskill yourself. You have to constantly be, wanting to learn more and more. So ability to learn new concepts, ability to grasp, and ability to grow yourself as an individual is really the key skill that you need, because everything is changing so fast. So if you're a fast learner, you will catch up anyway, right? So that brings us to our second phase, where we would like to hear, your thoughts on what are some of the key skills that recruiters are really looking for. So, you are interviewing, right? So our audience really wants to know, as a recruiter, what are you looking for when you interview someone? What is it that you will shortlist? What is it that you will outright reject? So that's invaluable information for our participants here. So over to you, Mr. Anil. We'll again start with you and go in that same order.
Sure. So my first comment is, besides the cognitive and communication skills assessment, being technology ready has become an important criteria. Hence, today, if you look at it, assessments include technical programming skills as well. Okay. So having experience in technology, or, a good hands-on, the fresher is putting in the effort to be technology ready is going to be very important. The second thing I would say is, which you covered, Maya, learnability, ability to learn, so that he or she can upskill, collaboration, because in the COVID era, where, we are still working from home, a lot of discussions is happening, through various teams and all that. So collaboration is going to be very important. Networking skills are going to be very important. And I think one advice, having spent many years in the IT industry, one advice, and to all the fresher colleagues, is I have seen that some of them, when they join a large organization, they feel that, oh, wow, I have made it. Okay, I have joined this great company. And, then we see that we see some kind of take it easy kind of a scenario. But I think the message that I want to give is, that's the beginning for you. Okay, some of us tend to bring the campus culture into the college, into the organization, and that's why corporates have, campus to corporate kind of training programs, right? So my sense is, or my view to the team is, they get into an organization, that's just the beginning. Make use of every possible learning and development opportunity that's there in the organization. For example, at Capgemini, we have a Next platform, which is a learning platform for employees to go in and upskill themselves. There are a lot of micro learning sites. So that hunger, and at Capgemini we use a word called fire in the belly. That hunger to continuously upskill and add value to yourself, because only when you add value to yourself are you going to add value to the organization. So I think those will be my advice to the fresher community.
Super. Over to you, Dipti.
Yes, sure. So I would also say the same thing when I'm looking out for a campus or off-campus students. What we generally look first thing is right comm skills, right attitude. That makes really important for hire someone. So having right skill set, of course, we are looking out for if someone is coming with the right skill set in the basic understanding of. So we at NAC Systems, we are SAP Gold partners, and we work all the hirings. What we do is for an SAP, complete SAP, for technical, for functional. Those days have gone that only team leaders or managers will have a conversation with customers. No, right now if you come with the right interpersonal skills, you will get that chance to interact with your customers directly from the beginning onwards in your career. So having right attitude, the learning, how Mr. Anil said, a right hunger to learn new things. So always get in touch with your mentors if you're looking forward for a new skills, if you are hired already somewhere. And then what happens that right now we all are working from home from last 2 years. Okay, there are few students, they might have attended 2 years college. There are few students who might have attended only 1 year of degree, and then last 3 years, 2 years, 2.5 years, they're working, they're studying from home, and now they'll start working from home. What happens that time, when you are already associated, when you start associating with any organization, when you start working with the company, even though your mentor is somewhere else and your colleagues are somewhere else, make sure you have a right rapport with them. You need to show that hunger. You need to show that I want to learn something, I want to get involved and start taking initiative, that this is something I've been given and this is something I have to do. Having right attitude is very, very, very important. So that's what I want to say, that for entry level, when you are entering in the market, don't have much expectation. Oh, I'm looking, have expectation, having expectations are good, but then you should not stick to something. You know what, when you start a career, you should definitely be like a water, that if you put that into any mold, it will take that shape as an ice, right? So just be comfortable, have a right attitude towards your colleagues, towards your managers, and be always upfront with the skill set, be ready with the latest skill set. Right now we at NAC Systems, we generally hire resources coming with the ABAP skills, Java. We also hire full stack developers. We hire many cloud resources, DevOps, multiple roles what we are hiring. But at the same time, we believe that people coming with the right skills, we will enhance their skill set and put it. I'll give you an example. We have hired many freshers for Python developers, and we train them into SAP CPQ. We hired many Java resources. We train them into cloud commerce. So that's how, if you have that right learning attitude with the right attitude, com skills, and understanding and taking ownership skills, definitely your career will be at a very par and a very next level altogether. If you're looking down the line 2 years, 3 years, you will be at a very good level if you have a right attitude towards doing any particular things if you're doing at your platform. Any skills, regardless. That's from my side.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Moses,
Yeah.
your turn.
Again, on similar lines, the most important thing for freshers now, like I keep saying, right, we have a lot of freshers in the market, so you need to be ahead of the race, right? So just a degree is no longer great or required, right? You need to have those further skills on it. So you have various places where you can go. Like for us, we have our own Java full stack programming courses and things like that. Take up these courses. This is going to give you that edge over the other person, because in today's world, a lot of face-to-face interviews have reduced. So we no longer have a lot of face-to-face interviews that happen. So you can no longer convince someone with your body language, or you cannot appear positive on a video call, right? I mean, it's just how you appear on the screen. That's how you look at. Earlier, when you walk into the office, how are you dressed? How are you going to talk? How are you going to behave? All that could have been taken into consideration. Even if you had a little less tech knowledge, I would oh, this guy can kind of take it up. That these people who are considered. But in today's world, when everything is over video calls, everything depends on your skill, how good you are. Every tech interview, like we have a lot of tech clients who we give our learners to. I don't think any of the tech clients start with a personal interview. Everybody wants to put that learner through a test, be it a HackerEarth, be it a DoSelect, be it something or the other. So I'm not even getting to see that learner there. It's just the assessment. It is just that test. If the test results are good, then that goes into a personal interview. So everything has changed. You need to be on top of your skills. You need to be totally adaptable in today's situation. The good thing for recruiters is that earlier, when there was a position for require a tester in Mumbai, they only looked at people in Mumbai. Today, you can look at that person even in Delhi, even somewhere in South, or wherever you want, because it's all remote working. That has managed to save a lot of cost also for employers, because cost in different cities is different locations is different. That has managed to help. Above all is your communication skills. I'm sure Dipti and Anil both covered it up, because at the end of the day, most of the tech roles are client facing, client based. And if you're going to be based at the client, at the end of the day, that person based with the client will represent we have Capgemini and NAC over here on so they represent Capgemini and NAC, right? So like I say, that employee is an employee, obviously, but at the end of the day, he is Capgemini sitting at a client's place. So it completely gives you a reflection of the organization that's sitting there. Hence, the quality has to be apt, right? A lot of emotional control needs to be there, because we are sitting in a situation where we have no clue who is sitting in what atmosphere, who is going through what issues in their personal lives, because everything has become virtual. Everybody can just hide their feelings out in that filter that's there. You don't know where the person is sitting. Is he really sitting at home? Is he sitting outside, or is he sitting in some resort and chilling with friends? So everything needs to be taken into consideration in today's world, and we need to accept this today as the way of work, right? But that's what I feel. We need to be adaptable, and above all, think outside the box, because what matters today is how you're going to take these chances that you get going further. You need to make the most of what you have. So I know there are a lot of other options open, but very soon as we move further, this is here to stay. So that's how we need to look at business going further.
Wow, thanks. I think that's a lot of skills we are looking for. We are looking for like Superman, Superwoman. It's a lot that you all are asking for. So for the benefit of my audience, what I'll do is I'll just sort of go over this, and let's see. Just maybe you can take notes. This is for my audience. So as all of you said, technical ability, technical skill remains, the key point, and it remains the foundation. Recruiters are looking at HackerEarth or GitHub profiles before you even get a chance to, talk to the recruiter. So that remains like a non-negotiable. That's point number one. Ability to learn, learnability, ability to, like Mr. Anil put it very nicely, you've got to have fire in your belly. You have to keep adding value to yourself, keep upskilling yourself, not take it easy. You should have that constant hunger for growth, make use of every learning opportunity that you're getting, use micro-learning sites, use some of the upskilling programs that are available in the market, all of that. You must have collaboration, networking skills, like Mr. Anil said. All of you said that communication is extremely important. Your attitude towards your work, the way you're communicating with the client is extremely important. Some other interesting points that sort of came up. It's not really skills, but it's the way you think. Okay. So one thing that Dipti mentioned very correctly, and which we also always sort of reinforce with our learners, is that when you start your career, don't be rigid. Be flexible, be like water, mold yourself, because that's the platform you're getting. And, you can always be more demanding with your recruiter once you're a couple of years into your career. So in the beginning, just focus on settling down, spend like a couple of good years in one organization. That will really strengthen your CV. Anybody who is taking ownership and responsibility, clearly, sort of stands out when you're working. So that's a key skill that everyone is looking for. Emotional intelligence, like Moses said, of course, it's of course, I don't know how many recruitment processes sort of are able to capture that, but it's a very important point, working, especially when we are working virtually half the time. It's good news, like somebody said, it's good news that because now most recruiters will be okay to hire talent pan India. So there's a lot more jobs available for our learners, and at the same time there are a lot of people, a lot of candidates available for our recruiters. So from both sides, it's a great sort of situation to be in. So thank you for that. I think we have covered a lot on what skills are needed and what skills are what are the skills that recruiters look for when they're recruiting for tech positions. With this, we'll move on into our next phase, where we talk about tech opportunities for our non-tech learners. Okay, now this is very interesting, and this has been coming up a lot of late. A lot of HR leads, talent acquisition leads that we've spoken with in the recent past, a lot of them have said that, we're looking at building a more sustainable talent source or a talent channel by bringing in non-technical candidates into the mix, because they're not engineers, they're not going to have 5 offers in one shot, and they're not going to hop jobs after every 6 months. So we know organizations are exploring the idea of taking non-tech talent, training them, grooming them, and then absorbing them in tech roles, and so hopefully get better retention, and so attrition comes down and all of that. So I would love to know your thoughts on that, one by one, and this is going to be very useful for everyone who's viewing us today and doesn't have a technical background. So it's like they will understand that it's not like they need to give up or lose hope. They have a lot of ways and means through which they can still make it to technology. They can be a part of this technology revolution, come into those sectors. So over to you, Mr. Anil.
Yes, so a few comments. One is there are finishing schools, and they are playing a critical role in grooming the talent. So anyone with even a non-technical background can go to some of the finishing schools. EduBridge is one where somebody can learn and get themselves ready for a role with IT industry. Also, may not be so much for a non-tech, but most of the organization also have their own pre-onboarding learning programs, like and this is more for engineers, which is in the 4th semester or in the 3rd semester, where we have a program called ADAPT, where we train the students that we have given the letter of intent, and they can train themselves. We also have partnership with academia, around a lot of engineering skills, and we have done a lot of memorandum of understanding so that we can train the talent. But I think today the IT industry is also looking at roles where maybe an engineer is not needed, and that's where they could be looking at a science graduate. For certain roles they could be looking at a commerce graduate. So the way I see it is there is a lot of opportunities even for people who do not have so much of a technology background to come into the play and make their career.
Okay, thank you. Dipti, would you like to take a go at that?
Yes. I have hired many resources coming from non-technical background, and I can proudly say they are doing fantastic role coming as an SAP consultant role. So when at NAC, when I joined NAC system, I'm working with NAC for almost 6 years now, and we happened to hire functional consultant for an SAP CRM, C4C, and all. That time, generally, what happened? Organization approach to SAP institutes or those have done SAP learnings and all that thing. What we did in approach, we hired some fresh BMS, fresh MBA, marketing, sales, those are not coming not from IT background at all. The reason we hired them at the end, what exactly SAP CRM? It is interaction with the customers, having right com skills, having right presentation skill that makes a right. So that's what I'm saying. When we are hiring any functional consultant, you can say any ERP functional consultant, business analyst role. Cybersecurity definitely required some sort of technical, but then that is one way people can look. There is a role called content writing, where there is a technical writer, of course, but then there is a content writer when someone has to take care of a complete content, what exactly going on a website, how exactly you are having a right SEO, which is search engine optimization, where the popularity of the web pages to become easily to findable. So these are some roles where people can take up into IT without coming like up. It is not important that the person has to come from BSc IT or a BTech and all background. No, there are many BCom resources you will find they are doing a fantastic job as a content writer, business analyst. Many BMS students you will find many BCom if someone is coming with the right com skills. Recently, I have hired a fresh batch of non-IT background for BA role, which is completely SAP functional as a BA role. And there are few students are coming from a complete media industry. So they have done their grads or their masters in media. So just imagine there is no connection between media and IT. The reason we hired her because we have at a NAC we have a products where we are focusing more on media, focusing more on fashion industry. That's how she can play a right role for business analyst role. So having right coding skill, of course it is required for all IT regarding job what we are looking after from a programming concept, but then specifically a roles like as I said business analyst functional role, or when it comes to a content writing or SEO, there are lots of scope available in the market where we don't require any technical background. Of course, but then they can make a fantastic career ahead in the IT industry, completely IT. And I'm sure those are already there in the industry from a long time. They might have seen. So I'm talking about NAC. I'm presenting NAC right now. So we are SAP industry. We are focusing on SAP, so there are many resources coming with 10 years experience into domain like sales, like marketing, production planning and all. And then they start career into SAP, which is completely into IT industry. Right now, there are more scope for students coming from non-IT background who wants to make a career into IT. So that is definitely open and companies are welcoming that. Right skills, yes.
Superb. It's great to hear that, recruiters are sort of open to hiring. Moses, your thoughts on that?
I think Dipti and Anil have covered almost everything out here on the switch. Just a couple of things that I will add a bit on a lighter note is that currently there is no threat to a tech resource, right? Now I'm speaking purely as a recruiter because we know that tech resources are very hard to hold on to. The moment they find something more lucrative, they move, right? So it's getting difficult to hold on to these guys because they know that worth in the market is there, and if that role can be done only by that person, so it's important to have somebody ready for that role which can be replaced to curb that market, because today it's become very difficult to handle uh, candidates, right? You may roll out an offer on the day of joining, person does not turn up, right? Till the morning of the call, he's available. The very next minute, he's not available, right? He's already gone somewhere else, or he's asking you for a 10-20% hike more. Then only then I'll come back because he already has a couple of other opportunities with him. So the tech market has got a little spoiled, I would say, in that way, because with so many offers, the ethics are no longer there, right? We say it in that way. I feel it that because we work with so many tech clients, we have so many offer letters released, but at the end of the day, we feel learner does not turn up. There is a no show. There is people who are not wanting to take up the opportunity because they've taken a similar role somewhere else. Could be a couple of positions lower, but a better salary, right? So we need someone. That's why the non-tech into tech. A lot of people doing these programs. A lot of bigger clients. For example, we are doing something with AWS, a restart program, where we are getting people from non-tech backgrounds into tech so that we can get them cloud-based role, because cloud is obviously the future. So we are trying to get a lot of these people into the system as well to help the number of people needed for this technical skills, right? So that's how things are actually moving further. So rest of it definitely covered by Anil and Dipti brilliantly. I don't think I need to add anything more there, nor do I want to touch base on anything apart from this, because there is nothing apart from this. But I think it's very well said. I think that's how we need to look at the big switch, because yes, the big switch has already come in, and companies are already looking at non-tech into tech. It's already started. So we need to embrace it and move forward with this thought.
Yes. One last thing I would like to add here, when as a fresher or as an experienced person, whenever anyone is going for any interview, make sure that at least you are reading the basic things. You must do it. Read about the organization. Take 5 minutes, open the company website, read what exactly company is into, read the job description correctly. It should not happen that your panel is asking you a question and you be very clueless that, oh, I don't know about the organization. I have seen many of the time when you're talking about role, the candidates are completely clueless that what role I'm applying an interview for. So be very specific, read, take out your 10-15 minutes, read about organization. Now you have all material available online. Read about organization, read about the work, what they're doing, the services they are catering for. The same way, read about your job description. That is really important when you're appearing any interviews, whether you are going for a fresher role or an experienced tenured employee. Have a good understanding about organization and the role. That is very important.
Super. Thanks. I think this is again like another good news for our audience, right? I mean, to hear from recruiters themselves that they're open and willing to hire talent from the talent from non-tech backgrounds, and there are several roles that we have. We have BA roles, we have cloud roles, we have data analytics, and several roles that are sort of coming up where you do not really need to be a technical person. And like Mr. Anil said, there are several finishing schools. A lot of organizations also have their in-house training teams who help this transition. So to everybody out there, if you're thinking about making a transition, please think. I mean, it's truly possible, and there are enough and more case studies that we have, which make us believe that you could make a very, very successful career in technology, even if you are non-technical. So thank you for that. I think that was very, very insightful. We're almost now at the fourth phase of this discussion, where we just want to talk a little bit about what are your thoughts on working from home? Is working from anywhere going to stay, or you think now, with COVID sort of getting over, organizations are going to have everyone come back? So our audience wants to know, what because some of our learners will be, sitting in tier 2, tier 3 cities, and of course, when they actually, if all the recruiters want physical presence in office, and they will need to relocate and things like that. So everyone wants to know what the organizations are thinking with respect to this.
Is that a question to me? You
Yes,
want me to start,
Mr.
Maya?
Anil, you can start. Thank you.
So if you look at the pre-COVID era, where 100% of the workforce was in office, to the COVID era, where almost 100% of the workforce went virtual. The way I see it is, it's going to be a hybrid model. Okay, so definitely it's not going to be a scenario of 100% of the workforce coming back to office. But does that mean that we are going to be 100% from home? No. It is going to be a hybrid model, wherein you will have maybe, and this would vary from organization to organization. Somebody may say 50% of the workforce works from office, 50% works from home. Somebody may say 60-40, somebody may say 40-60. But the point is, the way we see it, the hybrid model is going to be there. Not everybody needs to come to the office every day. Okay. But few days you have to be in the office, because trust me, while everybody for a point was very happy of working from home, it has its own challenges, because when you come to the office, there's a different kind of an energy, the way you interact with your colleagues, the way you work as a team, those are equally important. Okay. So I would say it's going to be a hybrid model, and I think it's going to be the best model of, so you come to office 2 days, you work from home 3 days, or you come to office 3 days, you work from home 2 days. There are a lot of collaborative tools there, right, today, whether it's Zoom, Microsoft Teams. So today, which is enabling team members to work remotely. But while all this is happening, one advice to the freshers would be that they need to get more expressive. They need to stay connected to their managers, because for them it's the beginning of their career. So the kind of connects, collaboration, the confidence that they will build through those connect is what is going to help them in their journey. So that's my response.
Yes, Dipti.
Sure. So I am 100% agree what Mr. Anil is saying, right? So we were fortunate to start a career sitting with managers in the office. I believe these kids, those will be pass outs, and those are willing to start their career. One thing is, yes, everything has advantage and disadvantage. Working from home is definitely advantage. Those are staying very far and they have to travel a lot for a single day commute to office. That has been taken care in this last 2 years. But at the same time, what happens, when someone joining as a fresher, sitting inside the office with colleagues, having right mentors, if you're getting stuck somewhere, you have immediately next door or next table, you have someone which you can interact and get the thing resolved, whatever queries or things you have. But then that is not happening when we are working virtually. So where here is something that your connects with your mentors, you connect with your managers or your colleagues. That is becoming very important factor here also. The important key, I would say, someone has to take initiative. Oh, if I'm not understanding, someone has if I'm not understanding, if I'm joining as a fresher level, you just can't ping your boss for every single thing. You can't ping your team leader for every single thing. You can note down 4-5 things which you have, which is not clear to you, and then have a call with him and have clarification for all the pointers which where you are getting stuck, instead of calling or ping him or her again and again. That is one thing. And to have this interactive session, I believe I would advise everyone, those are working from home. See, it is not possible for us to go and meet every single day or monthly, something like that. The best part, what we can do is everyone we have every single day multiple calls with customers, with internal team. So we should have at least twice a week. We have a daily stand-ups, right? So in that case, at least once or twice in a week, we can convert those daily stand-ups in a video call. So we can talk, we can express, and we can. So now people are aware. There are many new team members have joined the team. You might have seen in your organization also. You can definitely, I would say, recollect the voice, but then you don't know the face exactly until and unless you see the portal. But then having a video chat or conversation will really impact and have a right communication is what I would say. So work from home is definitely good. We are moving to hybrid model where we don't require to go office daily, but then having this VC calls, having once in a while we can meet up or something like that, that will definitely add value. And having right approach towards your queries until someone is coming and asking you, hey, what is happening over here? By that time, you should go and talk to your mentors that this is something where I've been stuck and here is somewhere I need your help. So that will definitely add value to your enhancement in your career. That is from my side for working from home.
Super. Yes, Moses.
Yeah, Maya, thanks. yes, one thing that I will say of work from home, obviously the flexibility that a lot of people get, right? Everyone has got that flexibility, and I think a lot of us, when we've been working for so many years, we've prayed really hard for work-life balance, right? And I think you got it all at one time. For the last 2 years, we've just got everything. मतलब वो जो जितना चाहिए था उससे ज्यादा मिला है सबको. I mean, 2 years complete work from home. Now people are moving to hybrid model. I heard a lot of people say, hey, now I want to go back to office. These are the same guys who are cribbing of not going to office a couple of years back, who say, nahi yaar, bahut ho gaya, bahut kaam karate hai. So now things have totally changed, right? People want a hybrid model. People want to be in office. People want to meet people, because in many fields, right? Obviously tech, like we know about TCS, who said 100% work from home. And then after a year, they said, hey, you know what? I don't think 100% can work from home. It's 50-50, and let some people come back to office, because we cannot have everybody working from home. The amount of money that they spent on cybersecurity, the amount of money that they had to spend on technology and softwares to not let the data go out to others. Because just imagine a security guy sitting at home with all the possible data in his laptop. I mean, anything could happen. BPOs, financial companies, right? A lot of banks who are credit card related, anything related to accounts, these guys could not move totally off, right? They tried their best to do that. We started getting a huge rise in cyber thefts, a lot of issues with Google Pay getting hacked, a lot of issues happening. That's when people realized that not everybody can work from home. So there are some who have to go to office almost 3 days, 4 days a week, because that's a must, right? That's needed for some of the roles. And what has happened over the last week or so, it has given us also a pause to think what's important in life for everybody. So everyone has got that a bit of a break that's needed. Yes, for the freshers, it has become a little difficult, because it's getting what a person gets sold on to now, the campuses of Capgemini and Office, NAC systems, when people used to walk into that office building, that feeling of getting into that corporate, getting into the office, watching the cubicle, seeing so many people dressed so well, that's something which excites a fresher. And then you build bonds with your friends, you have a certain set of group over a couple of months which you build. So today, all that is no longer there, right? Yeah. People say that people have been moving jobs very quickly. I will say this is the reason they move jobs so quickly, because no one's able to build those connect with anybody in the organization. So it's all remote, right? I'm not connected to anybody personally. I'm not talking about things personally. Everything is official related. Everything is kam se kam. Nobody wants to get into discussing anybody's personal issues anymore. I think earlier those gossip sessions were very important. Pre-office, post-office, you sit, go out, go with your team out for a nice dinner or lunch. All that has completely gone off, right? So it's very sad for a lot of freshers who are actually unable to go out there and live that first couple of years of their life, understand the basics from the senior management to see how they are punctual, how they come on time. It's very important. Like I learned a lot of this from a lot of the CEOs I worked with. If office starts at 9, they are in office at 8:15, 8:30. If a meeting is at 9, they are in a meeting at 8:45, 8:30. So all of this will only come in if you physically are seeing these things. Now you see the ethics of Zoom is become very different, right? People even come late for interviews. It's like you being a senior person available for the interview, but the person joins 15 minutes late, correct? So there has been a lot of places where that has increased a lot of our patience levels, because we as people would have not actually accepted that. But then we say, okay, it could be a tech glitch. So we are giving that a small token of appreciation to the guy. It's happening in today's world. So work from home is here to stay for at least another couple of years, another 3 years. And it's becoming now a trend, and people, freshers, are actually asking for jobs, bluntly saying, hey, if it's not a work from home, I don't want to take this job up. So that needs to change, guys. So all of you who are on this call, it's work from home is not leisure, right? You need to work from home, right? I know work-life balance is important, but somewhere the work is gone and only life balance remains with these job roles. So we really need to make sure that work is done perfectly, because this concept has not been new, right? Globally, right? Capgemini will be able to add to it because Anil will be able to say that work from home concept is not new globally, right? I came from a Japanese company which I worked for called N-World. I was doing a work from home role in 2018, right? Because that they in Japan they give you options to set up their whole office in your own house. So I had people come home, set up my office desk for me, set up my Wi-Fi for me, set up everything for me, and this is my workspace. I need to be available there for those 8 hours of work, right? But we're still not there. A few companies have given that work from home allowance. I don't if you all know, a lot of companies gave that allowance for people to buy chairs, to buy those tables, right? A lot of that happened, but a lot of companies still haven't done that. We don't even know how many of our freshers are actually equipped to work from home, right? Not everybody would be affluent, well-to-do, have those 1, 2, 3, 4 BHK houses to work in. There are people who may be living in that 4x4 space. You know, just imagine that guy attending a call with so much noise and stuff around them, right? So it's not easy for everybody to adapt to it. That's when I say that, you know, for people need to come to office when they need to come to office. We do not need to say work from home is here to stay. It is here to stay for people who are productive working from home. But when you start realizing non-productivity is hitting, automatically companies are going to call you to work. And yes, it's a big plus point for companies because a lot of companies let go of a lot of their rental properties, right? A lot of their rental properties have just gone, has reduced lakhs of rupees of expenses. Your EBITDA is perfectly well handled now. So it's okay. For company point of view, it's been a good move. But yeah, it's here to stay for at least some more time. And I think Dipti and Anil will agree with me that they face the same issues in everyday life, regular life, in their own teams as well. But yeah, this is how it is. But freshers need to be equipped to work from office as well as from home. Do not expect a little too much. That's what I would like to end it with.
Absolutely. I will just say one thing. I totally agree with you, what you said. But then one thing for freshers, whenever they are attending any interviews, make sure they are being there on time, or rather 5 minutes they should join prior to the call. Second thing, consider yourself attending physical interview at any premises. Don't think that, oh, I'm sitting at my home and I'm giving the interview. Remove that mentality. Until and unless you are not prepared for an interview, you won't be able to give your good shot in the interview. So that is, I'm saying that many recruiters reject candidates only because of their presentation skill in virtual interview. So that needs to be taken care, and consider that, and make yourself feel that, no, I'm going for a live interview and I'm attending my physical interview at one organization. So that is very important while having this remote or a virtual sessions.
Yeah. And just one comment, Maya, is from my end is working from home. Please take care of your health. Take the regular breaks because in office you go for your tea, you for your lunch, you're walking around, working at in the house. You know, you're just sitting back to back calls. That's not good for your health.
Absolutely.
So take the regular breaks. Go for your walk because you know employee well-being is, I think, today one of the most important aspects for each corporate. Because if you are, you know, physically fit, you know, you know, you're there 100%, only then the best will come out from you. So take care of your health. I think that's another important aspect which I would advise to all the fresher community and everybody.
This is perfect. I mean, that's so needed because today we don't realize when the meeting ends, when the other meeting starts. So just constantly on.
The distinction is sort of ended. No, it's a absolutely. I think that was very, very useful, and it's such a. I mean, it's, you know, while we are all okay to go for the hybrid model, I mean, of course, there are, like Moses said, you know, there's a flip side. There is no sense of belongingness. You know, there is people do not. Freshers are not getting to experience that life that they used to get to experience, you know, long back when they were hired, and that excitement that used to be there, all of that. So, so I'm sure this was extremely useful for our audience. And, you know, as quick as this session has gone by, and as much as we all want to hear more from all of you, we must continue with the marathon of sessions now. And thank you so much, everyone. I would really like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Singh, Dipti, Moses for this enriching session. It gives me immense pleasure to also acknowledge the presence of the entire community of people participating in this event today. This event would not have been possible without the support of each one of you. So thank you everyone for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you
Anil.
so much. Wishing everyone all the very best. Thank you.
You too. You too. Thanks, Anil. Thanks, Dipti.
Thank you.